we're resetting the room. I'm going to pull a leap. We're going to reset the room. We're talking about Art Basel. We just covered a couple art stories, some huge art sales, some crazy collaborative partnerships in the art world. Why is this all happening? Why are a bunch of art things pumping? It's probably because of this. Art Basel is in Florida, Miami. If you guys are there, there's a lot of people there right now. Honestly, there are a lot of people, but not as many Web3 people. I was poking around here. There's not too much, honestly. Like when I typed in VCon, I saw every influencer and their grandmother posting selfies and stuff. It doesn't seem to be that there's a huge Art Basel Web3 initiative going on. I mean, I know there's some, but I remember last year I was like, the biggest L ever was not showing up to Art Basel, and I didn't want to make that mistake. But there's not too much of a Web3 presence. However, Art Basel is not a Web3 initiative. It is a art initiative. It's an art conference that's been around for a while. Born in 1970, it says. I don't know if that's actually true or if that's, I assume that is. But anyways, yeah, they've got like 700,000 followers. They're a legit thing. This is a huge art thing that people look forward to at the beginning every single year. I guess it could almost be related to like a Champions League. What do you think, Philip? Could it be related to like a Champions League for football?
As far as art goes, I would say so. I mean, they've got, I think they said over 4,000 exhibitions on at the same time. So I mean, that's quite huge.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's so yeah, they're saying he had over 200 leading galleries and more than 4,000 artists from over 5 continents. So that's pretty substantial, my brother. I mean, that's a big conference, right?
It is. It is. It's very, very cool. Yeah. So Art Basel has been, I think that's the main reason these art things have been going on. Would love to know if you guys went to Art Basel last year because it looked like it was fun. If you guys are at Art Basel right now, would love to know what I'm missing out on because I get a little bit of FOMO every time I can't go to something. I'm only a few hours away. I mean, okay, I'm on the other side of the country. But I feel like I should take advantage when I can. But honestly, that's really the only thing. I just thought it would be something worth noting because people are going to start buying into these art collections, these art projects. And I just want you guys to remember one thing, guys. Y'all remember Renga? Y'all remember that storytelling NFTs meta that happened for like a month, probably 2 weeks longer than it needed to, and then it fucking dropped off. I just don't want people to start FOMOing in, especially if you have some money, to FOMO into a $1 million artwork because you think you can sell it in a couple months. It's like, hold on, fam. This is when you sell. You're supposed to be selling right now. If you've been holding art, you sell during Art Basel. You don't buy during Art Basel. That's like buying NFTs right after they dropped. Like that's just a terrible decision. You're almost always going to lose value in your artwork. It's just how it goes. So the main reason I wanted to bring it up was for that reason. Philip, do you have any thoughts on Art Basel or art collections, art metas going forward?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I mean, I agree with you from the perspective that we've had a very bullish couple of weeks in the NFT art space, for sure. And that, if you've been looking to exit, now's probably a good time from an NFT art perspective. However, with physical artwork, it pretty much always appreciates over time, especially if it's from a very, a notable artist and all the rest of that. So, very different digital art versus physical art, in my opinion. But arguably, digital art will also appreciate in time from the right artist. I mean, I do think now Ringers is a great investment because you can get some on OpenSea for 10, 15 ETH. I think maybe the floor price might be a little bit higher. But compared to $6 million, it might be a time to invest if you want it to be long term. Because I mean, here they've proven that they can sell from the same artist, the same collection, an art piece for $6 million. So I don't think it's as black and white as that. It depends on how long you want to invest for, why you're investing. Yeah, there's many people who buy like really expensive artwork from really notable people because they want to enjoy it for the next 40 years. And they're not really too worried about the price. It inevitably ends up going up, over that sort of length of time, almost always. So, yeah, I mean, interesting to see, but I get what you're saying. I mean, the art meta's been pumping. It's interesting because if you look at all the other metas that we've had in NFTs, which is, gaming, land, we've had all of the PFP meta, we've had all of them. They don't typically last very long, and then they come back round and come back round every so often. Woman-led projects, when World of Women went to 2020 Ethereum, and we had other woman projects come out that did really well, and which have now fallen off a cliff. But the art meta has not gone down nearly as much as everything else over the last 2 years. So if everything else is down, like we looked last week, Kate, like on average 90%, everything is down. Art is down maybe 20, 30% in NFTs,
Yeah.
which is really quite incredibly bullish. So, I think art and NFTs are a great use case. I also think gaming is, but the problem is that to make a great game that people want to play is very, very difficult, and it's going to
Yeah.
take a very long time. So we further out from that. But yeah, I think art and NFTs fit really well. I mean, you can prove exactly who owned it, whether it's legitimate or not, what it was bought for, what it was sold for. It's all on the blockchain. So the right art pieces can really appreciate in value. I do believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, that was my last point there. Crypto Dream says, some buys like hey, listen, the Torch. Yeah, you're right, bro. The Torch NFT from the Joyous Kingdom collection, 100% right. You buy the project because you believe in the project overall. Like that's kind of why I hold the Nifty Portal NFT, because I just believe in the Nifty, like the Nifty Morning Show brand. I like PO, I like Nick. I think they're going to do well. And that's the reason I invest, especially because I don't look at NFTs like an investment vehicle anyway. It's pretty sketchy, bro. I feel like I would rather stick to some more, like I feel like I'd rather buy a $50,000 watch than a $50,000 NFT if I'm going to be trying to hold value, just because it's just so risky, And honestly, before we move on to the next thing, I was just going to super quickly just to go back, because I think it's
I just want
important
to show you
what.
before you do. Okay, you can, and then I'll say I just want to show you the Ringers collection by Dimitri. So there you see the duck, and he has his NFTs. So you can see, okay, the best offer is 27 ETH, but the floor price is 42. I thought it was a bit lower, so I stand to be corrected. Maybe there's been a massive pump, yeah, because of this recent sale over here. But here you've got 1,000 items. So to me, does it make sense to spend 40 ETH on something that just sold for 3,000 ETH from the same collection? Possibly. Obviously the duck is the famous one, the most famous out of all of this, and was previously the highest sale from this collection, the rarest one. So you can't compare a floor one. But I mean, if you found a nice looking one here, the guy's proven that he can sell a piece of art for $6 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite something. Yeah.
That's pretty insane. Yeah, that is pretty insane. I can't imagine why you would spend $6 million, but like, I guess that's just art NFTs for you, bro. But speaking of the last point I wanted to make was it was related to that past the thing about Ferocious. I just think it's important to say, even though we